Will Chelsea sweep the Spireites aside, or will Chesterfield cause an upset in West London? Watch until the end of this preview to hear all of my thoughts on tomorrow's match. Hello people, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. This is my preview for the match that will be taking place tomorrow evening at Stamford Bridge in the FA Cup third round between Chelsea and Chesterfield, with kickoff at 5:30 PM UK time. So what I'm going to do for you guys in terms of this preview is that firstly, I'll be giving you guys the team news concerning the Chelsea first team and only the team news concerning the Chelsea first team. I will then be giving you guys my lineup based on the team news that I will be giving you guys very shortly. And lastly, I'll be giving you guys my score prediction. So without further ado, let's get straight into this preview. So we begin by taking a look at the team news concerning the Chelsea first team. And in this preview, I have two pieces of information for you guys. And the first one concerns Cesar Azpilicueta and Kai Havertz. And this story explains that both of them will be available for tomorrow's match after they both had to get substituted. Against Tottenham Hotspur on Wednesday. And Kai Havertz did go off with a finger injury that was causing him a lot of bother, and that did occur in the first half where he, just after he scored the goal, he did collide into Hugo Lloris and he must have collided into another player and he fell onto the ground, and that did cause the injury. And Cesar Azpilicueta did go off with cramp, and it was the correct thing for Thomas Tuchel to do, because of course we do have a lot of players out with muscle injuries. And ironically enough, one of our right backs is out with a long-term hamstring injury, and one that will see him be out for a multitude of weeks. And I am of course referring to Reece James, but anyways, I digress. Thankfully, they are both available for tomorrow's match, and thankfully they are both okay, because we do have a bit of a problem with injuries just now. But that's the first piece of information that I have for you guys in regards to the Chelsea first team. The second and final piece of information that I have is something that Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference, and this is what he said. He said that we're going to need to find a balance between youth and experience, and that tells me one thing and one thing only. That tells me that he's going to maybe play some players from the academy, players who haven't had too much game time recently, and experienced players. Or I shall just add the players who haven't had too much game time recently into the experienced players, because of course the academy players are not experienced in the first team. But yes, you get what I'm trying to say. Thomas Tuchel is likely to mix it up and bring some academy players into the team, and hopefully he does that. It would be very nice to see some players who are in the academy just now get some minutes and at least be on the bench, but we'll just have to see. But anyways, that is it for the team news concerning the Chelsea first team. Nice and sweet, no new injury concerns, and we shall now move on to my lineup based on the team news that I've just given you. Yes, this is the part where I will be giving you guys my lineup, and yes, I will begin by talking about the formation that I've chosen. And I have actually chosen to go with a 4-2-3-1, and the reason why I have done so is because this can be easily changed into a back three, and it can be easily changed into a 4-4-2, and I will explain how when I read out the personnel that I've decided to go with, of course. But yes, I've chosen to go with a 4-2-3-1. And in terms of the personnel that I've chosen, Edouard Mendy, and yes, I am starting off in goal. Edouard Mendy has gone off to Cameroon to take part in the African Cup of Nations, so he is obviously not available. Kepa is now our first choice keeper, and I don't think he should be playing this game. So for me, it has to be Marcus Bettinelli in goal, and it will be his first Chelsea game if he starts, or when he starts, whichever one you guys want to go with. But yes, I've gone with Marcus Bettinelli in goal. Um, in terms of my back four, some of the players that I've put in were forced and some of them weren't. But yes, I'm going to go from right to left. In the right back position, I have gone with Cesar Azpilicueta. We all know he can do a job. He had a really good game against Spurs up until he had to go off, of course, and he has been really good whenever he's been playing this season. He hasn't started every game. Of course he couldn't, or of course he can't. But he has been good whenever he has played. I mean, he hasn't had a lot of game time recently, but he has been really good when he's been in our defense. So with the very fact that Thomas Tuchel said he's going to use a mix, or most likely is going to use a mix between youth and experience, I think that Cesar Azpilicueta will be a good player to have around because he is, of course, our captain and he is someone who has been extremely consistent since he's been at the club or since he joined the club many years ago now. That makes me feel old. But anyways, I've gone with Cesar Azpilicueta in the right back position. In the two centre back positions, I have gone with Andreas Christensen and Malang Sarr. Andreas Christensen, he did train, as I heard in the press conference, and that is good news because he did have a back problem, and that is something that should always be taken seriously, given that we've seen players in the past of ours suffer from recurring back problems, and I'm referring to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But anyways, I've gone with Andreas Christensen because of this reason, as well as the fact that he has been solid. Yes, you can argue that he's better in a back. You can argue that he's better in a back three, but he can do a job in a back four. And yes, I've gone with Malang Sarr because he deserves it. He had a superb game against Spurs, and yes, he did get booked. He did have a few lapses on. He did have a few lapses in. Oh my goodness, he did have a few lapses in concentration, but he did do a really good job, and he was definitely a contender for man of the match in that game. But yes, that's the centre back pairing that I've gone with. On top of that, I do believe that Antonio Rudiger and Thiago Silva should be rested because we do have a big game against Tottenham Hotspur coming up next week. But yes, that's the centre back pairing that I've gone with. And in the left back position, and to complete my back four, um, I've gone with Lewis Hall. Yes, he's not primarily a left back. He is primarily a central midfielder, but he has played in left midfield in some academy games. So it's not too dissimilar, albeit the lesser amount of albeit the lesser amount of defensive responsibilities that he will have whenever he's playing in left midfield. I do think that this will give him some good experience. I think it shouldn't, like I said already, be too dissimilar to some roles he's played in already. I mean, Thomas Tuchel is very flexible with his systems, as he showed against Tottenham Hotspur on Wednesday. But anyways, I've gone with Lewis Hall. It would be nice to see him start, and hopefully he does the job. But anyways, that's my back four. In terms of the midfield five, I'm going to start off with the two and then read the three just in front of that two. In the two just ahead of the back four, I've gone with Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Saul Niguez. Yes, Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been playing deeper under Thomas Tuchel, and we all know what he's capable of doing. And I think he's a player who desperately needs minutes because he hasn't had a lot of game time this season. He has been getting played, but he hasn't had too much game time, especially of recent, and that is due to the fact that he has been absent for some of our games recently. But I do believe that he needs it. It's his time to do it. He doesn't have a lot of time left. He should be in his prime years very soon. And for me, it would be good to see him get started because of the very fact that we know what he's capable of doing and the very fact that he's approaching his prime years. Saul Niguez, for me, had a brilliant game against Spurs. He was driving through the middle of the park with ease. He got stuck in, made some absolutely stupendous tackles, and he was another contender for the man of the match award in that game against Spurs. So for me, those two should start. Yes, you're probably wondering why I've gone with two eights, but I've given you the reasoning already, and one of them I'll say again is the fact that Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been playing deeper and is someone who can do a job in that position. So that's the two that that's the two that I've gone with just ahead of the four. And in terms of the three, I will do this from right to left. I've gone with Callum Hudson-Odoi in the right wing position because he is another player that needs game time. He hasn't played a lot of he hasn't played a sorry he hasn't had a lot of minutes recently. Sorry for my stuttering, guys. And this is a game that will allow him to get some confidence and to possibly get some goals. So that's why I've gone with him. He is someone that definitely needs a goal, might I add. And it would be good for him to start in that right wing position. Um, in the number 10 position, I've actually gone with Ross Barkley because Thomas Tuchel pretty much confirmed that there's a chance that he'll be starting. If not, there is absolutely no chance that he won't start. So that's why I've gone with him in the number 10 position. He did get a lot of criticism for his performance against Brentford in the Carabao Cup quarter final, and I actually thought he had a decent game in that game. So it would be good for him to, get some minutes, maybe get a goal, or get an assist. Sorry for my stuttering again, and yeah, if he starts, then hopefully he does a job. But to complete that three, I've gone with Harvey Vale in the left wing position. For me, in that game against Brentford, when where he last played for the first team, I thought he had a really good game. He did cause their backline all sorts of problems with the way he was moving. He was linking up really well, and I think that this is a game that will allow him to get some experience in the first team. And for me, he's one of the next players to come out of the academy and into the first team because he does look really good and he looks like he's almost ready. But yes, that's the three that I've gone with just in front of the two. And now to complete my lineup, I've gone with Timo Werner up front. And for me, he definitely needs minutes. He hasn't played in ages. He needs a goal as well. And if he gets a goal, that will do his confidence the world of good. And that's my lineup. Please, guys, do drop your lineups in the comment section below. And as always, I shall do my very best to respond. Here is a graphic showing you guys the formation that I've chosen and the players that I've chosen for my lineup. We shall now move on to my score prediction. Now, in terms of my score prediction, I have chosen to go with a 4-0 Chelsea win. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we found it difficult to break them down. And having said that, I also wouldn't be surprised if they came to the bridge and gave us a game and came out all guns blazing and possibly scored a goal because that's the FA Cup. Things like this can happen, especially when a smaller club comes up against a bigger club. But yes, that's why I've gone with a 4-0 Chelsea win. Or let me not get ahead of myself by saying that I've gone with a 4-0 Chelsea win because I do believe that we should have what it takes to get the job done. And that is by no means any disrespect to Chesterfield. I just think that we should have what it takes to get the job done, given the resources we have. And hopefully it's a good game because I'm actually going to it. I will be producing a matchday vlog for you guys. So do stay tuned for that. That will be my next video. And yeah, that's it for this preview. Do drop your score predictions in the comment section below. I will do my very best to respond. I will do my very best to respond. That is it for this preview. Again, I apologize for my stuttering. I'll see you all very soon. Come on, you Blues. Come on, Thomas Tuchel. Let's get ourselves into the fourth round. And peace. Come on, Chelsea. Let's do this.